want to start this video with an object permanence test. Just, I got to make sure. You guys see me here, right? I'm here. Am I gone to you? Am I back? I need to know that you can pass that before we can move on. Cause I'm kind of blown away here. I feel like I'm a little shocked by this discourse. And now you got me saying I got to do discourse on my first day back. I just had a really, really nice vacation with my family. I played board games and read books pretty much every day. And now I got to come back and do discourse. Okay, look, here's the deal. Let me give you the context, because we're talking about context a lot today. 2 days ago, I make a video about essentially government fraud in general and my thoughts on it. And I used this Nick Shirley video and the Somali Minnesota situation as the kickoff for that. I used it as the in. And I got 6 ass threads on my Reddit who I swear to God did not watch this video. That's because when I fucking read it, I don't understand. Were they watching the same video that I made? My mind is blown. And so I'm reminded of this thread I saw on Our Teachers. Listen, the kids can read every word that I'm putting in front of them, but if you ask them to say what it means, like what was the paragraph you just read? What was the takeaway from it? They can't do it. Their mind blanks out. So I want to do 2 concepts of media literacy. I just want to break these down. The first one is context. Context is what happens before and after, the things around a word or phrase or section or visual to give it meaning, to inform it. Okay, the context matters. If I tell you nice shirt on its own, that might mean, oh, I really like your shirt. But if I say, fuck you, nice shirt, idiot, well, that's important context. The before and after really informs that particular phrase. And it helps you find takeaways. What is the overall takeaway of a piece? For example, if you just saw the clip of Walter White saying, I am the danger in this stupid hat, you might think, oh, the point of Breaking Bad is that cooking meth is cool and Walter White is great. That might be your takeaway. But if you watch the whole piece, you might realize that, oh, okay, the overall takeaway here is that Walter White is a monster, and this is a dangerous, terrible path to go down that's left him alone and broken. I want to go through, this maybe seem a little pedantic, but I want to go through like point by point what I'm trying to hit in this video from 2 days ago. And we're going to take a look at the context and the takeaway, because that's what I would like to be judged on. All right. So this particular section, this is the one that a lot of people were crashing out on, which, surprise, surprise, is in the first like 30 seconds. Surprise. And I show this clip from Nick Shirley. And the reason I show this is not because I am platforming Nick Shirley. It is because this video has been pushed by Elon Musk to 121 million people. That is like 40% of the entire Twitter user base. It's on TV news. It is everywhere. This is a massive video. I'm not platforming shit. I am responding to this exogenous event as a way to bring a different narrative than what is being pushed with it. That is the point. So let's start with the before and after. Now, this is the beginning of the video. So for before, let's look at the context of my fucking channel. I got people in the comments being like, wow, are you pivoting MAGA? Are you just buying what Elon Musk says wholesale? Bro, I've got like, I'm in a cottage industry out of questioning what Elon Musk says. You think I take Elon Musk at face value? It's frustrating, bro. It's frustrating, okay? I have a whole video where I go into my detailed thoughts on ICE and how this administration is being brutal with immigrants, okay? And how it's demonizing and causing fear and hatred in the communities. Do you understand? Like, this context matters because it shows that I am trying to bring a deeper understanding to what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be a gotcha on either side. I'm trying to understand and learn and know where people are coming from to give them a better takeaway. And by the way, when I got the screenshot of me holding up the flag from the ICE video, that one of the top comments was this: I think he's trying to reach his audience that is more likely to be influenced by the misinformation. You got to package things right to get people who actually need to hear it. I think this is a very powerful thumbnail. A powerful comment. I really appreciate what this guy said. It reminds me of a similar video I made where around the H-1B stuff, this guy made a fucking Twitter video that went super viral. This also went viral. And I watched this video and I said, look, some parts of this video are funny. I can see why this would be appealing to someone, but it's like a cup of poison, okay? They give you a little bit of a taste of the good stuff and then you fall into the cup of poison. It's like, that was my whole metaphor about how, you know, a few things that you agree with in something like this might be a way to put a much worse narrative on it. So this is a context that's important going in. This context is what allows me to make a thumbnail like the economy is saved with Donald Trump. Do you think that I literally mean the economy is saved? Or do you think perhaps there's a deeper takeaway here? Okay, so in this video, when I open by saying, hey, look, there's parts I don't like, but there's some good journalism there. I am damning with faint praise. Okay, I follow it immediately by calling the younger guy in the video a clout-obsessed Zoomer. I am merely saying that the fact that they got all of the records of all of the spending by all these different organizations and the addresses and found that many of them were listed on the same address is worth giving an opening to, okay? Because we're getting 100 million people watching this video, many of whom are super angry at it. They're riled up. And I don't want to open by saying, dismissing it. I don't want to be dismissive. I don't want to throw it away. I want to say, listen, there's some stuff here worth talking about. Let's get into it. I want to open with a hand out to let people come in and see the narrative that I am trying to build over the next 20 minutes. That's what I'm trying to do. I think it is more effective. I think it's how you change people's minds. We've talked about the before. Okay, that's the before of this one comment that is like 6 fucking Reddit threads. I have a 20-minute video. All right, now let's go to the after. So after this, again, I never mentioned fucking Nick Shirley after this 2-minute mark at the beginning. Then I go into how the system of us focusing on just the goal and the bill signing allows opportunities for broader fraud in general to be ripe. Then I go into what actually happened with real journalistic sources in this Somali Minnesota situation. I go through point by point on where the fraud originated during COVID with the lax enforcement, how it built up, the different areas it went into. Okay? Then I pull an actual Somali American former fraud investigator to talk about why, in this particular instance, it might have taken root in the Somali community. Then I go on to say specifically, and I really want to say specifically here, but the problem I have with this story is that it's bringing all these people out of the woodwork that only want to talk about this type of fraud when it's Tim Walz and Somalis. I can just tell. I can see the difference in how they act. Oh, interesting. Okay, so then I break down that this narrative around the fraud is being hijacked to turn into like an anti-Somali, anti-Tim Walz thing, and not a bigger story about the widespread pandemic COVID era fraud across the country. So many of these government services, especially around COVID and pandemic, have become ripe for fraud. And then I even go bigger and I start talking about national defense, and I talk about Medicare and the overcharging and legalized fraud in those areas where private contractors are dramatically overcharging the government for huge amounts of money. Oh, by the way, in the middle, sorry, I cut this part out. We also talk about how there's pandemic fraud of all races in all 50 states. People in Florida, pastor in Maryland, guy in California, guy in Arizona. This fraud is much more widespread than the Somali community in Tim Walz's state. It's all over because the opportunities were so ripe, as I mentioned in this section. And then at 13:55, my face looks like I'm on a suit. It's like it looks like I'm a tiny guy. I had to include that because that was one of the big comments too. Also, I will say the shirt I'm wearing does look like it's from the 70s. My mom bought it for me for Christmas. Okay, the facts. And then I close out by saying that Elon Musk, particularly, who is pushing this narrative down people's throats, had an opportunity to do something about fraud. And in fact, is trying to run the Doge scheme again somehow. Elon Musk is on Twitter like today, being like, oh, the fraud is 20% of the federal budget. Bro, you were given the keys to fucking everything and as open carte blanche, and you cut basically nothing except for like opposing Democrat stuff and some federal workers, and the deficit increased. That's the last part of the video. So what do you think that if you put all this together, what is the takeaway? It's so frustrating to see someone harp on one line in the first 30 seconds that I'm using as an intro to this viral video that has a lot of interest to get them into my, I think, more rational, well thought out take on the situation. God damn, dude. It's like you have to be spoon-fed a fucking Vine boom. Fuck this guy, he's racist. Fuck this guy's racist. And we shut off. I'm trying to build something. Like, it's very frustrating to see a comment like this. You are falling for a racist framing of this problem instead of a framing more based on reality. It isn't a problem inside the Somali community. It's a problem with the complete lack of government oversight over the country. That is what the video was about. I just know for a fact this guy watched like 30 seconds and wrote this comment. And it's like the whole video is about how it's not a problem just inside the Somali community. It's a problem. I feel like this guy took a summary of my video and then posted it back to me. It's frustrating, bro. Dude, even the fucking racists who were crashing out at me because I was too nice to Somalis in the video, at least they watched it because they had to have watched it all the way through because they were mad at me for sugarcoating the Somali problem and using actual quotes that I said. It's not about race. They were leaving a big wallet up or big wallet out and people stole it. And then I respond to both these. I'm like, dude, if you think it's not about race, then why is people in all 50 states of all races stealing 15x more from the PP program than just this? Why is it's such a bigger problem than that? I do these live, right? I don't have any script. I put the slides together and I do it. In fact, that one for the Somali one, I had to do 3 takes and my laptop died in the middle of it. And I stand by the takeaway of what I'm saying. I do. If you had a problem with individual language, maybe use the context to figure it out. If I felt egregious about it, I'd say something, but I really don't. I feel like that was a perfect way. The person I had in mind when I made that video was someone like my cousin. My cousin is someone who would watch that video and is very susceptible to it. And I would like to talk to my cousin and be like, hey, listen, I get what you're feeling. I'm mad about this fraud too. I see the video too. Let's talk about it and let's expand on that. That's what I'm trying to get in the door so that we can have a real discussion. And if I do that in any other way that you deem approved, you crash out about it. It's frustrating. And I know that I'm falling victim to the content creator brain where it's like, I'm sure plenty of people watched the video and did do this. I just, I found it to be a little frustrating. All right. Since I'm on the subject, I'll do one more crash out. I called out people going all conspiracy brain on memory prices. And this guy said, here's Gamers Nexus, one of the most trustworthy sources in the space, saying it might just be that. It's like, bro, I got no problem with Gamers Nexus. I feel like I'm in that JREG video. People always trying to start beef with me and someone else. I'm not in the fucking YouTube drama space, bro. But here's what I'll tell you. I just want to be super basic. I feel like anyone could get this if you thought about it for 2 seconds. If you like to eat bananas, right? This is the worst banana I've ever drawn. If you like to eat bananas, okay? And you go to the store every day and you buy a banana. And then one day, a guy named Gorilla Sam Altman comes along. I'm not going to try to draw that. Gorilla Sam Altman comes along with a giant blank check and buys 40% of the bananas in the world. And his AI bodies buy a lot of the rest. And the price of bananas goes way up. And then you go and say, yeah, I think they, and you do a big quote, they are trying to get us to eat apples because there's a higher profit margin in it for them. It's like, I think it's Gorilla Sam Altman. I don't think it's a cabal of the shadiest companies working to get you onto cloud computing, bro. I think it's because Sam Altman bought all the fucking memory. It's so blatantly obvious. And like, I understand that when you say they and you do like, own nothing and be happy, people fucking love it. It's catnip, dude. And it makes you tons of YouTube views and it's good. But let's be real. In this particular instance, I think it's just massive demand from AI. That's why Microsoft employees are getting like there's people at Microsoft and at OpenAI and at Google who are getting fired because they can't secure enough memory for their companies. There's people flying out to Korea round trip constantly begging to get more memory for Microsoft. If Microsoft can't get it, it's probably not because it's an international shady cabal. By the way, if the goal was to get you to use cloud gaming, then why would they at the exact same time announce a limit on how much you could use the cloud gaming service? I think it's because all the resources are being diverted away from gaming altogether. They don't care whether you're buying a fucking memory or they're using cloud. They just want to give everything to AI. That's why I called the video the AI tax. They're not even thinking about you. Okay, I'm sorry. I shouldn't crash out so much. Most of these comments were funny. I feel like I actually had a great time in this break, and those two things kind of stuck with me. But let's be real. I'm gonna be super real. If I look at that video, but if I look at the top comments of that video, it is Atrioc talking in a more hushed tone. Nice to know parents' house rules apply to everybody. That's true. My dad was asleep. I'm in his office. He's asleep, bro. I was trying to be a little quieter. It even applies to me as an adult, bro. This shirt is a certified Boeing Alley Classic. My mom bought it for me. She said it makes me look like the 70s. By the way, I'm doing the fucking blue eyes meme in this. I just wanted to address this because I feel like if you don't address it, people think, oh, well, why is he not addressing it? But honestly, I'm proud of that video. I like what I made, and I like what I said about the AI memory stuff too, and those are two things I wanted to crash out on. I have no beef with anybody, bro. That's not what I'm trying to do with content. I'm trying to read things, research things, and give what I think is a level-headed take so we can build up a larger community of people who are on the same page about some basic stuff and maybe get some change. That's all I really want. That and to farm you guys to sell Enron hats. That's the key takeaway. Okay? By the way, stream's back tomorrow. We're doing a predictions 2025 year in review. Be there. Thanks for watching. Bye.